Now, the most basic instruction in the Torah is this. Let me give you a little background. When Moses met with the Almighty, he asked the question, will you keep my commandments? If you will keep my commandments, I will make you a nation of priests. You will be my representatives to the entire world. If you will keep my commandments. Moses came down and asked all of us, gather together, will you keep the commandments of the Almighty? We had no idea what they were, but we knew that he was our Savior. We saw that he brought us out of Egypt, that we crossed the Red Sea by his mighty hand. We saw Pharaoh's chariots and army swallowed up as the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aqaba, the Yam Suf smashed in over top of them. We knew that we had been saved. Now, he said, will you make me Lord? Will you do what I say to do without even knowing what the fine print is? We said everything the Almighty commands us, we promise. Everything that the Almighty commands us, we promise we will do. And so, Moses returned the words to the Lord, and then Moses was told, have us get ready. The third day, when the trumpets blew, we were gathered to the base of Mount Sinai, and the Almighty shouted down his 10 commandments. At the end of that, we said, never, ever let us hear the voice of the Almighty again. Never let us see this mountain on fire, and the lightning, and the thunder, and the earthquakes. We are afraid we're going to die. And the Lord said, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. From now on, Moses, I will speak to you, and whatever you tell them, they are required to do. And I am going to send another prophet in the future. After they've broken my commandments, after they've gone their own way, I'm going to send another prophet that they must listen to, because he is going to instruct them in the way of the Torah. And if anyone comes along and adds any commandments or takes away one single commandment, you will know that they are a false prophet. And if these false prophets do signs, miracles, and wonders, but they add to or they subtract from my commandments, if they teach you in any way to violate any of my instructions that I have commanded you this day through the mouth of Moses, you will know when they do the signs, miracles, and wonders that I have sent them. I have empowered them, but I've empowered them as false prophets to attempt to deceive you, because I am going to try you. I am going to see if you are actually going to do what you said you would do, that you would keep my commandments. That's all I'm asking. My commandments are simple. They're not grievous. They're not hard to be borne. My commandments are simple, and they are life. And they are designed to keep you out of the web of religious manipulation, intimidation. They are designed to let you live your life according to my commandments, and you will see that I will bless you. The nations of the world will see that I will bless you. And you will be known throughout the world as the people of God. But if you break them, if you break my commandments, if you add commandments to or subtract commandments, then you are going to be cast out of the land. It's going to become a deserted wasteland until I bring you back in the last days, and there will be a restoration of all these things that I have promised you. Now I will bring them to pass. Now, when someone changes Torahs, the instructions, this is not good. When someone adds a commandment or takes away a commandment, this is exactly the definition of a false prophet in the scripture. And he says that he will not only think to change the Torah, he will also think to change times. And in this world, we basically have 3 different calendars that are known in the Western world. And these 3 particular calendars are very important to understand, because in the Western world, we have been given the Babylonian calendar. This came, of course, out of Babylon. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of background on this, because Nimrod, the great-grandson of Canaan, was worshipped as God. But a righteous man, according to some Jewish traditions, they say it was Shem, the righteous son of Noah, hacked Nimrod to death, spread his body parts throughout the land of Shinar, which should have effectively ended the worship of Nimrod. But his wife, Semiramis, not willing to let the kingdom slip through her fingers so easily, said that Nimrod really didn't die. He has ascended up into heaven and has now become the sun god. And so the worshipers of Nimrod then divided the solar calendar up into 4 quadrants. The winter solstice, the shortest day in the year; the summer solstice, the longest day in the year; the vernal and autumnal equinox, the days in the years of equal daylight and darkness. And their worship of the sun revolved around this calendar. So we have the Babylonian calendar, which has found its way around the world. Now we also have the Christian calendar, which has adapted, for the most part, these things, because the Christian calendar has come through Rome, through the Julian calendar, then through the Gregorian calendar. And in the Christian world, basically all of the festivals that are done come from Babylon. The calendar has come from Babylon, and they've moved a few things around. And you can read about this in my book, The Pagan-Christian Connection Exposed, and it's also in several of our other works, such as The Mystery of Iniquity, which we'll be talking about that book after a little while. But to understand how Babylon has affected the entire Western world, so that we no longer understand the Creator's times, we see that evil men have brought about and instigated this particular thing. Now, there is also another calendar, which is called the modern Jewish calendar. The modern Jewish calendar was a creation of a rabbinic council in the 4th century. And it was at a time that Rome had, for the most part, ejected us from the land of Israel. Most of the Jews had left this area, the hill country of Judea, and they were now living up in the Galilee region. And for a few hundred years, they were able to live in relative freedom, but then the Romans threw all of the Israelites out of the land. And just before they were ejected from the land, the Pharisees, which is a small faction of Judaism that had continued to grow through the years, they assembled themselves together and said, "We are going into exile." Basically, exactly what Moses said is coming to pass. Now, while we are in exile, we will no longer be in the land. We will not be able to sight the new moon and declare it from the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, light signal fires that are seen throughout the land, and so there won't be a consistent way that we can communicate with the rest of our brethren scattered over 3 continents what day of the month it is. And so we are going to have to do some calculations. They said, we're no longer going to be in the land of Israel and be able to inspect the barley crop each year to determine the first month of the year, the month in which we'll have Passover. In fact, we're not even allowed to come back into Jerusalem to hold the Passover, and the temple is destroyed, and so these things are seemingly moot, and it is the result of our disobedience. Now we're going to be scattered to the 4 winds of the heaven. So the Pharisees got together and decided to use Babylonian mathematics and use a mathematical point in time to determine the beginning of the month.
Michael Rood Ministries presents The Greatest Story Never Told, the Jonah Code, and the 70 Weeks Prophecy of Daniel. Join Michael Rood on this journey of discovery that will change your life and your perspective of the future. Order online at michaelroodministries.com or call 1-800-331-9745 now. The Jonah Code, the greatest story never told, and the 70 Weeks Prophecy of Daniel.